I'm American. When I moved to Australia I was constantly asked 3 questions. 1. How do you pronounce aluminum? 2. How do you pronounce Jaguar? 3. Are red Solo cups a real thing? In all the movies, whenever there is a house party everyone has a red Solo cup. I was caught completely off guard by the Solo cup question. Ever since then I've been very attentive to these damn red cups. They really are everywhere. I kept getting asked how many guns I owned and whether or not I thought Trump was a good president. Might just be me, but I do notice when you ask Americans on the internet where they're from, they reply with either a state or a city instead of their country. The thing is, it doesn't cause any confusion, since most people know most American states, and at least the major cities. You don't often see an Indonesian person, for example, say they're from West Java, just that they're from Indonesia. I also find that Americans often include where they were born. For example, I'm from Philly, but originally from Jersey. Not including tax on prices displayed in stores. That feeling when you want to spend your very last dollar on a can of Arizona iced tea. Famously, the price is on the can, and the cashier asks for $1.07. Drive-through atoms and everything else. I didn't learn we had drive-through liquor stores until later in my life. Aussies do the drive-through liquor store / bottle shops / off licenses. Ranch. I never knew ranch was just an American thing until recently. We have that here in Scandinavia too, along with Thousand Island and Rhode Island. I was very surprised to find out that Rhode Island dressing is a Swedish thing that has nothing to do with Rhode Island. It's basically Thousand Island without bits in it. Not having to ask for the bill. This was me today at a restaurant in Oslo. It felt rude to call the waitress over to ask for the bill. I'm American. Ranch. Back when I worked in Panera Bread, a customer asked for ranch. We didn't carry it back then, and when we informed him, he said, "Are y'all communists?" Prescription drug commercials. Happy dancing while side effects are being listed. Handing your credit card to a stranger, having them walk away, swipe it, then bring it back to like they didn't just put a down payment on a new house with it. When I first started working in hospitality, I had an American customer who just gave me their card. I took it to the register, paid the order with a swipe, and gave it back. I was told by my manager to never do that again, lol. Absurdly protracted election cycles. Election campaigns in the US appear to take a full year when they typically just last a month or two in most of the countries I've visited. Presidential elections can be closer to 18 months or so if one or both parties have a hotly contested primary. Mixing 3 different canned foods together and calling it a casserole. Cream of mushroom, cream of chicken, mushrooms on rice, actual chicken optional. Mom's was awesome, lol. Free refills at restaurants. Edit. My inbox detonated. Send help. And with ice. The cult of high school / college sports. It seems strange to anyone from Europe, but after starting to watch US sports I realized that a lot of states either don't have a team in a major league or will only have one. It's not like here in the UK, where there are 92 teams in the Football League and even more below that. Most of the major leagues in the US only have 30 to 40 teams. That's why people are so invested in college sports. A lot of the time they're the only local teams. American here. When I studied abroad, I was smiling and friendly to strangers. In London they looked like I wanted to steal something from them. Saw this with my American friends when I lived in Moscow. They walked around with this pleasant anticipatory smile on their face and people thought they were mentally challenged. Sending Christmas cards with their family photo on it. Often with pictures not related to Christmas at all, such as beach pictures. Daily driving pickup trucks. We do that in Australia too, kind of. Liberal equals left wing. Yeah, in my country, it is either associated with the political center or with moderate, right wing, never with left wing. Pledging allegiance to the flag or singing the national anthem outside of special events. I went to see a kids talent show in a small rural town. There were maybe 8 acts and 30 people watching, and they all stood and pledged allegiance to the flag and sang the national anthem beforehand. It was extremely strange. I once got silent lunch punishment of having to sit alone at lunch for not standing for the pledge one morning. It's ridiculous. Edit. Public School, 2014. Road trip baby. You can hop in a car and drive 2,500 miles in one direction. That's not only an American thing. Same here in Australia. Not making posts about other countries. That's cause there aren't any other countries. While I admit the Brits are pretty close with their full English breakfast, the American greasy diner breakfast of eggs, bacon, waffle/pancakes and hash browns is pretty uniquely American. My Italian mother has said in the past that it's the only things she's enjoyed about American food culture. My nonna would be horrified if she heard we were eating fried eggs for breakfast. Edit. Spelling. Geez guys, it's a freaking typo. You need a breakfast burrito, fried hash browns, ham, sausage, bacon, chorizo, eggs, sour cream, guac with some pico de gallo and tapatio wrapped in a monster tortilla. Thanking military people for their service. Reminded me of a joke I heard. An old man walks into a grocery store, and when checking out, he asks if he could have a discount because he fought in World War II. The cashier says of course, and, in a particularly generous mood, gives him a 50% discount. The old man says dank then leaves. Y'all. Yaldv. Making pancakes from the box. Everyone else is making pancakes from scratch. You're right, I didn't know this. Fettuccine Alfredo. Alfredo's fettuccine or fettuccine by Alfredo? Singing the national anthem at every possible opportunity, even when the event does not involve any other countries. Starting every sporting event with some military flyover or other military promotion. So much fast food. Hosted a person from Norway for business for 5 days a few months back. That guy wanted to eat as much red meat, sandwiches and fast food as I ever saw. Air conditioning. I'm very surprised no one has said this yet. It's not that other countries don't have heating and AC. They do. But our use of them, especially the latter during the summer, is astronomically higher than anywhere else on the planet, even when compared to other first world countries. American ACs are usually integrated into the homes with vents along the walls in every room, but in Europe they tend to be relegated to a single tiny rectangular unit over the door. If you're fancy then the house may have 2 of these. When I visit family, I always hear from mum, before we leave the house, be sure to turn the blower off before you chaps leave the house. Providing info on a location on an international forum with the state abbreviated. I help ID plants and fungi when asking for a location, which can be key for an ident. Americans reply with CA Bay Area. I'm in the UK, this means nothing to me. ID. You mean Idaho? /s. Driving everywhere. Americans drive a lot. Far more than residents in most other countries. American cities were built around the concept of driving. It's very difficult to walk anywhere, and here is a video explaining why. https://www.youtube.com/watch v equals uxyki30fs54. Kitchen sink blender, I mean what? You mean a garbage disposal? I haven't had one in my American apartment in ages, and it was weird at first to remember I have to use a strainer in my sink's drain to catch bits of food that can clog up the pipes. A garbage disposal would grind those little pieces up